So yeah, we've obviously had the opportunity to work on such a scalable, quite complex project actually. It's a project, or I guess a particular topic that's quite important for Aucklanders, communities and our citizens, and that's being the rates and revaluations of properties. So from the many methods that the property and rates and revaluations data or information that needs to be released, one of them being online. So the ability for users to be able to simply log onto go onto the Auckland Council website, be able to search for their particular property or any other property as it's all public information, and be able to see their evaluations of properties as well as the rates. So to give you a little bit of a background, back in 2014, that's sort of when things started to heat up around the house prices, and there was quite a lot of interest regarding what's going to be happening on that sort of side of sector, and people were quite interested about what the evaluations of properties are and what their rates are. So the information was released on the Auckland Council website. We had a huge number of people flocked onto the Auckland website, and as a result the website crashed. So come 3 years later, the rates and revaluations need to be released once again. This is a compliant, it's a need for the information to be made available once again onto the online, being the Auckland Council website. So we needed to make sure that we're going to be doing something different here. Our customers, our communities, our Aucklanders deserve a better service than what happened previously. Not to mention the scrutiny that we had from the media in 2014, as it was all highly publicised regarding what actually happened. So the trusts and the Auckland Council online services really needed to be gained back, and that wasn't going to be an easy task.
So we actually have a challenge. So how we are going to respond with our solution, because we were known that it's going to be like a huge load and pressure on our website. And this is where we actually come with that innovative cloud solution to have our existing on-premise infrastructure, not to do any changes there, but actually to deploy the new Azure web application. Because in our plan we already have defined what is the pages that is going to be actually visited by the user, and we move that pages from our on-premise infrastructure to the Azure web application. So we actually achieved a highly available and highly scalable solution. So we will definitely sure, yeah, this time we won't going to crash. At the same time, we have keep our on-premise infrastructure out of the pressure, so our day-to-day business was not affected at all. And it was quite interesting. I just want to mention that when we publish our new data at 9 in the morning, at 9:05, two other websites that actually provide this information to the Aucklanders was crashing, and it was crashed. So we were more than happy to accept the additional traffic. Yeah. So it was a very exciting time in the office. Yeah, I was having Khalid behind my back, like still working. Yeah. So it was interesting. Yeah.
So we called it the war room, and it was literally the war room. We had a number of people from across Auckland Council present in that room that had a relation or an input into that project. The business, of course, being one. From an ICT or information applications team, that was the web and mobile team being us, as well as our operations team. We had the SAP team who was feeding that data through. We had our e-commerce team, and they had a part to play around the objections and the valuations, objections, workflows and so forth, as well as our digital services team who are looking after sort of the customer service aspect of the Auckland Council website and that consistency of the level of service provided. So there was many parts, and forgive me if I haven't mentioned a few more others, but they were all sort of concentrated on the database team, of course, and they were all sort of focused on that. It was quite surreal actually to have them all there watching and looking at the monitoring of the screens, and we're watching the numbers go up, we're watching the customers being diverted by our NetScaler solution that we have implemented both on the on-premise SharePoint site as well as our Azure Cloud innovative solution that we have built. And it was quite a surreal experience to watch that and go, Yeah, we're doing well, and then we're getting news from the media going, okay, the Auckland Council website is going to be crashing today, that we're very convinced about this. Looking at the experience from 2014, we're monitoring other sites, the public-facing sites as well, who are feeding the same information as Rivka mentioned, and they were crashing as well, and the Auckland Council website was withstanding that peak load. So, you know, once that actually happened, you can see the smiles in the room, and it's quite a great feeling. It was an awesome experience to be part of.
I think that Khalid have mentioned that we were having, I think, 2 million just search at midday at 1 o'clock, I think. We were actually able first time to see, because we were using the Azure web application, what actually people are doing, how they are typing their property, what they are searching. So we have now a huge database and actually map of all of that action, so we can reuse it that much. It's going to be much better, of course, next time and the next time and the next time. So it is good.
Absolutely. And that was a great thing about the solution that was implemented, is that it's reusable.
Yeah.
It can be targeted. We were mindful about the use of ratepayers' money, meaning that the solution that was implemented is not going to be underutilized in the future. Should we have gone the aspect of really just looking at our normal infrastructure, traditional infrastructure, and really increasing and putting money on those servers and capacities and so forth, that will be quite an over-engineered, underutilized solution, and it's going to only be feeding an interim process or period, while the Azure Cloud solution that's been implemented can be reusable, and we can implement that in the future come the next round of race and revaluations. We feel a lot more prepared, a lot more trusting in our solutions that we have built. And with an Azure Cloud-based solution, you're only sort of paying for what you're using rather than what you own.
Yeah, it is very cost effective. So this is why we think it's going to be interesting for any council. So you don't have to be like a big council like Auckland Council actually to run that Azure web application. I usually love to joke and say you can run that for your average Aucklander, average budget for the coffee. You can actually have that Azure web application plan, and of course with the scaling you're going to pay for what you are using, like Khalid have said, but nothing in compared to like building the server in your data center. So I think it's very interesting and something that other council can actually reuse. Yeah, that was, I think, when we say our load balancer, we are saying that is our internal genius, our brain. I always love to make comparison that fuzzy logic algorithm and search is actually heart of our solution, because it is really helping our customer how they are going to find their property. If I give you a comparison, in the past, customers have to follow strict rules when they are inserting their property address. So it have to be like a street number, then street name, and of course for us as a developer, that probably make a sense. For the customer, of course, they just want to type whatever they feel that day. It can be just their street number or street name. So we have implemented a lot of logic and algorithm to serve the customer that prediction and the near match, and they were able to very easily find the property and see the rates data for that year. So huge improvements. I think that we have improved the response time, so that is the time that we're actually serving that data to the customer from 15 seconds to just 0.2 seconds. So it is like blink of an eye.
Yeah, and it's quite a complex data set. Yeah. It's very wide data set, so the ability to make sure that the algorithm and the logic that's built is feeding information and is feeding it fast and quick, absolutely, but it also needs to be accurate.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of sort of work in the background to be able to do this. I think what's really cool about this project is that from a customer's point of view, they don't need to understand the complexity that went into the background to achieve this particular solution. And that's exactly right, because the customer shouldn't worry about this. We should be doing the hard work in the background. We should be looking at from what a customer experience should look like, and what do they deserve as citizens, as our communities, in any region across the country really. So the solution that we implemented, the customer was really kept at the heart of everything. And on the day, it was simple. On the day, the website did not crash. Hectic. But also the information was provided in a fast manner, it was accurate, and really our customers got what they wanted on the day. I think that's how we sort of talk among us and our teams is that we're in a customer service role really. I mean, regardless of how techy we can be, and regardless we've got technical architects and system specialists and developers, and they see themselves far-fetched from the customer, but we're all here to deliver a better service for citizens, for Aucklanders. And as you can imagine, these customers are interacting with other providers, their telecommunication providers, their banks, and they're all going out there and being quite innovative. They're providing better services to keep those clients, to keep their retentions up, to keep their sales up, and whatever that is. So it puts quite a bit of a pressure and a demand from councils or from government agencies to be able to really be on par with that particular service. And I think that's really the challenge. And with that particular solution, we feel that we've achieved that, which is quite satisfying at the end.